Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant, and I'm very pleased to be joined this afternoon by David Johnson from KMJ Property.
Good afternoon, Nick.
Good afternoon. How are you?
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and everybody else.
Yes, absolutely. So, a bit about KMJ. They're a family-run independent estate agency with branches in Tunbridge Wells and now Crowborough and Forest Row. There's something on your website that I really like. That it's a statement that says that KMJ Property isn't just your business, it's your way of life. You are a family and a team and want to give all your clients the level of service you would want to receive yourself.
Yeah.
I think that speaks volumes about how you probably run your business. But let's hear your story. We're talking to you, David, but we're also going to be talking to Marc, who's your sales manager and your son within the business. He's going to jump in a bit. But let's start by you telling us your story about how you got into where you are.
Crikey. Well, many moons ago, we had some pretty appalling service from estate agents.
Yeah.
I would say 20 odd years ago, we had a natural dislike for estate agents.
Did you?
Everything about them and the reputation that most of them had earned.
Yeah.
So getting into it is something we vowed we wanted to be different and to care about people. And it's not about just doing the job or selling the most houses. It's about doing the job right and making sure every individual one counts.
Yeah.
After all, people can buy baked beans from some well-known supermarkets and they sell lots of them, but they get a very much better service if they go to their local shop or maybe a smaller supermarket that's doing the job better. That's us, really. We try and do the job correctly, professionally, and most of all personally for each and every client.
Okay. Yes, because when I interviewed you before, you spoke about you not wanting to be like other estate agents.
No,
You've had people that say that to you, haven't you?
One of the nicest reviews we had was somebody saying that we were most unlike estate agents. We had a little celebration around the office. We never want to be like most estate agents because most of them deserve a reputation.
Why have they got that bad name? It's just because they're not very personable? What is it?
Unfortunately, a lot of the large companies in particular are so target driven.
Yeah.
It's all about numbers for them.
About money and numbers.
The person that values it gets a commission based on just valuing it and getting an instruction on. We don't earn a penny until we sell our house, and it's got to go from the start all the way to the finish. Yeah.
I guess sometimes that's the difference with being a family business as well and caring more. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, Katrina, our daughter, the K in KMJ, she came up with something about treating everybody like we want to treat grandmother. Which is it's cute.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Give everybody kind of that care that you really should.
You mentioned Katrina, so KMJ is Katrina, Marc and Jack. Yeah. Just rewinding, how long ago was it you set the business up?
We've been selling properties for about 20 years around Tunbridge Wells.
Okay.
Primarily myself and my wife Suzanne, and then a few years ago Marc joined full time and Katrina shortly afterwards.
Okay.
Marc had always had a passion and a desire to join the business from a very, very early stage. As parents, we kind of encouraged them, all three of them, go off and do their own thing.
Yeah.
And establish something which we consider to be probably a proper job, something safe and secure. But they turned out to like the roller coaster ride we called a property profession. So
yeah. And you started off in Tunbridge Wells, which is in Rust Hall.
Yeah.
And now you've got branches in Crowborough and Forest Row.
Yeah.
Which is quite recent. I think Crowborough was only a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Forest Row was about a year ago. Just over.
And what's the market like at the moment?
Not as bad as the media tell you it is.
Right.
The media have got to have a present company accepted.
Of course.
At least social media is instant, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the media try and paint doom and gloom because it sells papers and creates the drama that they have to thrive on. We're finding the market nowhere near as good as it was.
Okay.
But it's still all right.
Yeah.
If a house is in a nice area and at the right price, it will sell.
Yeah.
We have a multi-pronged approach to selling properties. We kind of market in all sorts of different ways.
Yeah.
Cover a big base.
Okay. Is there areas in Tunbridge Wells that that property moves faster as a town, or is it pretty much the same?
Crikey.
That's a tough question.
A little bit, because there's areas of Tunbridge Wells which are more favoured, if you like. They've got a bigger price tag.
Yeah.
But there are also other ends of the market that are equally moving, but at a different price level. I think if the price is right, every property in every town, in every location will move.
Yeah.
We love selling houses that are £1 million plus, but we equally like the more general market as well. So we can sell anything anywhere.
Yeah. And the Crowborough and Forest Row market, obviously you had to learn all about that, I guess. Or was you aware of that because it's on the outskirts?
Yeah, we were aware of it. We've lived in Tunbridge Wells area pretty well all our lives.
Right, yeah.
So Crowborough's not far away.
No, it's not true.
Our friend Winnie Pooh lives not very far from Forest Row. So, no, it's all good. We know the area very well.
Yeah.
And yes, there are some niche parts of that area that we've had to learn a little bit. Yeah. But overall, it's not very far away.
No, it's not, is it? So where do you get your customers from? Is it referrals? Is it word of mouth? Or?
We're lucky enough to receive a tremendous amount of referrals, people that we've worked with before, or friends or families of those people. But we get it from all sorts of directions. Social media is huge for us. We've got an immense amount of followers on Instagram, for instance, and we know it works. We put posts out there on Instagram, and because we've put that hard work into developing the followers, and these are not followers from all around the world. They are predominantly people that are local to Tunbridge Wells, Crowborough and Forest Row.
Excellent.
And when we put coming soon picture up, makes the phone ring. They ring up and say, I've just seen it on Instagram, when can I book a viewing? Yeah. That's before it's even gone near the likes of On The Market or Rightmove. So it works.
Yeah, and it's really responsive, isn't it? And what we've spoken before, and you've mentioned about Marc specifically, and we'll talk to Marc shortly. It could be someone messaging you through Instagram at 2:00 in the morning, and he's there and he can respond to it. And
we're living in an instant world, and we provide as close to that as we possibly can. We're contactable 7 days a week and outside office hours. Obviously, when we're eating or drinking too much, we don't go near the phone. But generally speaking, if we're awake, one of us is able to respond to something if we can help. We do discipline ourselves enough to step away occasionally.
Okay.
Both myself and Marc ride motorcycles.
Oh, do you?
When you ride a motorcycle, you can't think about anything else. So it's quite a good detox from life. You just concentrate on what you're doing.
I guess it's like doing a sport where you're concentrating on your body.
That's
right. You're concentrating on going as fast as you can, right?
No, of course not. We don't ride bikes fast.
No. All right. Well, let's get Marc in. And thanks, David.
No problems at all.
Just quickly, what do you enjoy most about what you do? What's the best bit about running the business?
Crikey. I enjoy all of it.
You wouldn't do it if you didn't enjoy it, would you?
I enjoy being out of the office. Fortunately, through those 20 years of running the business, Suzanne, my wife, has enjoyed the admin and the behind the desk side of it. I've loved going out there and doing the deal, meeting and greeting and shaking the hands. And then I've done my bit. I don't really want to get involved with the paperwork side of it.
Okay.
Suzanne, fortunately, loves that bit, so that works very well. And Marc and Katrina, they're very good at all of it.
Okay.
So they've got a good blend of both of it. But I think tying the deals up with the best bet.
The what?
Tying the deal up is the best bet. Marc will probably say the same thing, to be fair. But
chasing that deal, isn't it?
Yeah. Handing the keys over is wonderful as well. But for me, it's about winning the instruction and tying the deal up. Nice.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get Marc in. Thanks, David. Good to see you. Nice one. So, Marc, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks for joining us.
No problem at all.
It's really cool hearing David's story about how he got into the business. Shall we hear your side of the story about how you got into it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, go on.
So I think from probably the age of 15, from the age of probably 13, 14, I was going to the office after school, occasionally answering the phones, and always had an interest in the business. Probably the age of 15, maybe even 14, 15, I went out on my first viewing with David on a couple of open day of properties where he needed a hand. On Saturdays, for example, so I used to go out there, he used to show me around the property and say, this is what we say. And then he probably after a couple, he let me have a go at myself. And then there was one property in Southborough that I did my first viewing by myself, and had the offer accepted. That was the age of 16.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think my passion's always been there. David and Suzanne were definitely of the opinion that I should go and get myself what they would call a safe and sensible job. So then I went and worked on the railway for a little while, which was very well paid, and I had to do a lot of training for, but it just wasn't suited to me. It wasn't what I was passionate about. So then I joined the family business when the kind of market was looking quite promising. And then since then, Katrina's joined us as well. So it's really great fun.
I think it was the right thing to do. Do you? To try something else and then just see what's going on in the world?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, if anything, it makes my love for it even stronger.
Because you folded into the business nicely. So that's really cool. So what do you look after the most within the business? What's the prominent part for you?
So being the sales manager, I probably do I'd say 60% of the valuations within the business. Mm-hmm. Do viewings. We've got a few members of staff, so we go through with the members of staff what we need to be doing, kind of talking to different clients, tying up deals, negotiating properties and things like that. Really. Okay.
And do you go from different office to different office?
Yeah, so we spin around every week to make sure that people aren't getting bored of our faces, but also so that everybody knows us in the different towns and villages we're in. Yeah. And it's a different environment every week, so it's nice and we're all mixing around within each other.
Yeah. And David mentioned the social media, which you work quite hard on, don't you? Mm-hmm. And we spoke before about you checking messages in the middle of the night or whatever.
Absolutely.
Which works. It's just the world we live in, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And you're getting into TikTok now as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we do a bit of TikTok. We've got plans to do more and more of it. It's just a case of trying to get every single approach that we can and try and market in every single place, as David said. Yeah. And the responding to messages is a lot of people after they've come home from work will want to have dinner, then relax, and then have a scroll through in bed and kind of, that property looks nice, I'll ping them an email. They don't expect a response, but they do get a response sometimes from us. I mean, I do the late night stuff, and Katrina does the early morning stuff, and Dave and Suzanne pick up where we're not around. It's being that instant communication is really important.
Do you think that's sort of, it's more responsive than Rightmove or something like that? Do you put every property that you're selling on there, or
So, as far as our marketing strategy goes, the first place our properties go is social media,
right?
And then it goes out to our applicants that are registered with us. But every applicant that registers with us, we talk to them about our social media pages. Okay, tell them to follow us and put their alerts on for our posts, so they see when we post stories and different posts. Okay. So they get to see a coming soon post, then it goes out to our applicants on our database, then it goes onto our website, and then it goes onto on the market, and then it goes onto the market on the market for a week before it goes onto Rightmove. Okay. So if you're only looking on Rightmove, you're going to miss out.
You're way down the end of the line.
Absolutely.
Aren't you?
So Rightmove's old-fashioned. On the market is a modern way of looking for property.
Is it?
And on the market it's going to grow and grow and grow, and Rightmove in the next few years probably won't exist.
That's a good tip. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Lots of people don't know about it because Rightmove's been there for such a long time and it's been people's staple. Yeah. But on the market, it's definitely the modern way of looking. And I'd say most good agents, to be fair, if they're not on the market, they're probably not a good agent.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every good agent should know that on the market's a place to be looking. And most agents in Tunbridge Wells are now on the market, and they do give exclusivity for 48 hours, typically speaking. Okay. We just do a week, but different marketing strategy.
Right. Do you do? It used to be the old days. You used to open up the Tunbridge Wells Courier, and there'd be a big property section in there. Yeah. Do you see any value in that still doing
Absolutely.
that?
So we're in the Times of Tunbridge Wells, and we advertise our properties in there, and we do a feature property as well. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it's about getting all these different. So we're a good old traditional agent where we still cover all the old-fashioned bases, if you like the paper. Yeah. But with a really great blend of the modern technology and kind of doing everything on social media as well. Okay. So we cover all the bases.
Okay. What about the future, Marc? We spoke before about some plans.
Absolutely.
More branches, more. What's going on with that?
I'll try and not give David a heart attack. But certainly, so, I mean, over the last few months, we have started to look at some new ventures within the business. We have got it gets a little bit involved with some commercial properties. So we've just had a let agreed on a property in Russell High Street, which is quite exciting. So we're looking to grow a commercial side of our agency. Yeah. And in the next few years, I'd like to see an office in Tunbridge, maybe upfield to go further into East Sussex. I've always fancied one in Wadhurst as well. That'd be quite nice.
It's a lovely area, isn't it? Yeah, some nice properties
Absolutely.
there. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you think that? So, are you quite ambitious with the business?
Absolutely. I want to build an empire.
You want to build an empire? Yeah. That is awesome. All right. Okay. And what about David? Does he want to build an empire, or does he just sort of let you do that?
David and Suzanne have built a really great machine.
Yes.
And a really great base for the growth that they've given it now, and the growth that Katrina and myself would probably like to grow it in the future. I think that David. If we're talking about David personally, is looking back and seeing what he's grown so far, really proud of it, and can see it going a lot further. So I think he's keen. I'd say he's quietly keen. He doesn't want to go there and say absolutely go for it. He's quietly keen for us to grow it and grow it.
Yeah, it's a good dynamic you two have got. I know you work together, but you are father and son, and that's sometimes that doesn't work, but I feel that it's a really strong dynamic you've got, which works really well with you guys.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. You've won a few awards recently as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So
run us through those.
The most recent one was the Best Estate Agents Guide. I went to London for the award ceremony and the conference beforehand as well.
Yeah.
So that was really great. We've also been shortlisted for the Best Customer Service in the South East, which is obviously a huge bracket, and Best in the Postcode as well.
Nice.
And that's by reviews via Estas.
Okay.
We were given the via the the British Property Awards for Tunbridge Wells in 2022, Crowborough 2023. Obviously, the team is exactly the same, so where we get the awards doesn't really matter, because we know it's the team winning the awards. We've got a lot of awards recently, and for a small independent business, that's really kind of makes the team feel good, but it also lets the public know that although we are a small independent business, we're still doing really, really well, and we're giving our competitors a good run for their money. Yeah, no, well done, congratulations. Thank you. I asked David what he likes about it the most. He talked about the sale and the buzz. Is that the same for you, getting that deal in? I would say probably, tying up the deal, but also keeping in touch with the vendors. They almost become friends of ours when we're dealing with them, and I hope they say it's the same about us as well. But getting involved in people's lives, it's such a huge part of somebody's life, selling a property, and being able to give them the advice and help them move on with their lives is really important. That's something I really enjoy doing. Yeah, and I guess you can sort of, the families grow, don't they? Absolutely. So you can help them all the way down the line. Even myself, I've dealt with people with more than one move in their life. I mean, when I speak to David about a property I'm valuing, he's like, "Yeah, we've sold that 3 times already." So he's dealt with the people a lot. And something I would say about what I do enjoy doing, I was talking about it in a valuation today to someone, is one of my favourite parts is matchmaking people to properties. So when I go and value a property, in my head, I've got a pretty good memory with some things, not where I've left my keys, but about properties and matchmaking people to properties. So I might have met somebody on a viewing and they've gone, "This property's not quite right for me, it needs to be a bit more like this." So when I'm valuing the property, I'm going, in my head it's going, it will suit such and such, or it will suit such and such.
Right.
So I'm already building a list of people that it would suit before we've even been instructed on the property. Right. That's really kind of something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, and then you can get straight on the phone to them and say, "I've seen something that I know you're going to like."
Absolutely. I mean, last week we sold a property off market, just from somebody that we knew that it'd be suited to. So we gave them a call saying, "Look, there's an opportunity to be able to purchase this property off market, because we've got the Boxing Day and Christmas Eve launch coming up. So we've got a fair few properties coming up for that."
Okay.
So we've got a few properties that we've got sitting there off market at the moment, which we're still matchmaking people to without it being on the likes of On a Market, Rightmove, and all the portals. So it's a really good thing to say to potential buyers, "Come and talk to us," because actually we're there for the buyers, because for the buyers we can help the sellers. Yeah.
Well, you're working for the people, aren't you?
Absolutely.
And building those relationships and that trust, and that's cool. Thanks, guys. Really good to talk to you. If anyone wants to talk to KMJ, they can get to you via the website.
Via the website, social media, telephone 01892 515188. Or at KMJ Broker Property.
And that's selling or buying a property?
Selling or buying, or if you want advice on surveyors, lettings, commercial, literally anything property related we can help with. Okay. Because it's what we do all day, every day. Nice one. Good. Well, thanks again. And Merry Christmas to you both.
Merry Christmas to you too. And to everyone out there. And we'll see you all for another podcast soon. Thanks, Marc.